Thanks, Cian Carla. First of all, I'd like to take the opportunity just to pay tribute to the nurses, particularly in my own constituency of Carlow and Kilkenny, that have been out on the picket line over the last number of weeks. Certainly not an easy place to be, and anybody that was ever involved in trade union activities will tell you that is the last place that any worker wants to be, is out on strike. Just to put it in a bit of context, in my own constituency, in the hospital there that services both counties, St Luke's Hospital, overcrowding last year remained second highest on record, according to the INMO. And that just shows you the type of conditions that the nurses are working in, and the midwives. And we all know this. It's like a lot of debates that we have in this chamber. We all know how bad the health service is, how much of a crisis it's in. Now, people tell stories all the time of not enough blankets, not enough pillows, let alone say beds for patients. And we expect nurses to go in and work in that environment day in, day out, in those conditions, and that they don't even get the pay that they deserve. And I would agree with my colleagues, this thing about coming in and saying how fantastic the nurses are, and they are, and we'll all agree with that, and we've all had our own personal experiences, either ourselves or with family members, and would say that the standard of care that they deliver in difficult circumstances is unbelievable. But it's not good enough just to say, well done, pat on the back, you're doing great work there. And it's also not good enough that we wait until it comes to a crisis before we acknowledge the work and the role that they play. I would also agree with, I can't remember who it is now, but a previous speaker spoke about the predominantly female workforce. And this is something, again, we see time and time again, where it seems to be okay that workforce where it's predominantly women, it's fine to treat them as second-class workers. We see it in the childcare and early years sector. We constantly see it in areas where the workforce is dominated by women. And I would also like to say, for people who, had an issue with the strike, in fairness, nurses, they gave more than the legal requirement. That's how much that they put the safety and care of their patients front and centre. They gave 3 weeks' notice of the strike, but you never hear anybody criticising them, acknowledging any of those issues. So, look, it's quite simple. I think it's not rocket science or anything, fantastic. What we need to do is we need to acknowledge the role that they do, and acknowledge it with pay and decent terms and conditions and decent working conditions, and not have people going into work in these nearly third world services. And I don't even like to use that phrase, but it's absolutely ridiculous, the conditions that we expect nurses and midwives and psychiatric nurses to work in. It shouldn't happen, and we should treat them with the respect that they deserve, and the best way of doing that is put your money where your mouth is and give them the pay and the conditions that they deserve. And on that note, Cian Carla, I'd also like to move our amendment to the motion.
Thank you.